They were going to be discussing the 2020 presidential elections. Joe Biden, so that would be our nominee, Joe Biden, against President Trump. So the safe states are always going to be the same. So we're going to have the state of Washington, Oregon, California, the states New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, DC. Same deal as always. Illinois, New Mexico, and I think that those are our safe states for the Democratic Party. Now, looking up for our safe states for the Republican Party: Arkansas, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Missouri, Indiana, and I forgot to fill some stuff for the Democrats. My bad. So we have Maine at large and Maine's first district, along with the state of Hawaii. I forgot those. So I think this would be our all the states that are not filled in will either be likely, leans, or tilt. So for our likely Democratic states, we're gonna have states like Nevada, Colorado, Virginia, and Arizona. So I'm gonna go and New Hampshire. I forgot those. I'm gonna go over what each one is and why I think I put them in likely. So the state of Nevada, I put it in the likely margin because they're gonna win by a considerable margin. It's not gonna be super close. It's gonna be close. It's reach distance for either party, but it's gonna be a 5 to 6 point win for the Democrats. Same thing in Arizona. It would be a historic flip. It's like a 10 point swing in just 4 years. About 5 to 6, maybe 7 point lead for the Democrats in this prediction. Instead of Colorado, we're gonna see the higher likely margins, like 10 to 15%. Colorado is no more a competitive state. It's become reliably Democratic, and in a couple years, you're going to see it be the same shadings as Illinois, New York, and California. The state of Virginia, no, it has not been a secret that over the last couple years, Virginia has been super, super Democratic. They've won the state house. They won a lot more of the seats in the Congress. We have 2 Democratic senators, a Democratic governor. And all these things just simply add up to why Virginia is becoming more Democratic. And for a candidate like Joe Biden, they like people like that in Virginia. Establishment people, they like in Virginia. In the state of New Hampshire, same thing. They like more conservative Democrats. So I think Joe Biden will not have a bad time winning this race. Now looking for our likely Republican states like Mississippi and South Carolina. Those 2 states, I think we're going to go back to the Republicans by at least 10 to 15 points. It's not going to be the usual 30 point leads, 20 point leads. It's going to be more like 10 to 15 just because Joe Biden can get the black vote out. And if someone like Stacey Abrams comes in, it could even go down to like a 7 point margin. But that's like super extreme special case. Other Republican likely states, state of Texas. Joe Biden will have, it's very exceptional they can get someone, a Democrat, to get this close to winning the state of Texas, considering how conservative it is. But I don't think today, this year is the year. You're going to have to wait until 2024, 2028, probably 2032, until the state of Texas becomes in play, and it's likely for the Democrats to win. For that reason, Donald Trump carries it, likely state. Other likely states, I think, are going to be the state of Iowa. The state of Iowa has been trending more and more Republican since Donald Trump won the presidency. You might think, well, they have most of the House of Representative seats and everything, but Donald Trump, the appeal that Donald Trump has in the state of Iowa is different because those congressional candidates have appeals individual for those states, but in general, the state of Iowa likes Donald Trump, and I think it will go to Donald Trump, the state of Iowa. Also, state of Georgia, again, super extreme case that it's going to be won by the Democrats. I think it's going to be a likely margin, at least, but it's not going to be the super big likely margin. It's going to be like 5 to 6%, which again, pretty remarkable for the Democrats if they can achieve that. Where Georgia was a reliably Republican state, they used to call at poll closings. Moving on to our lean states. Here, I would consider states like Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and Michigan for the Democrats to be those states that put Joe Biden over the top in this prediction. So, those states are leans because they've reelected a lot of their Democratic officials in the individual states. Donald Trump has lost a lot of favors in this state. He's not kept his promises. He has done some of them, but not all. So the people in those states are going to be thankful for Joe Biden because remember in Michigan, auto bailout, all those things, Joe Biden was kind of the big person behind that. And in the state of Pennsylvania, he was born there. He's going to have a lot of influence in that state. And just because of that, Joe Biden wins it in a lean margin. The Rust Belt is going to be reliably Democratic this time around. It's not going to be super close where it was a surprise victory for Donald Trump. Now, when we go look in other states, we're going to look at the state of Ohio. The state of Ohio will be a lean Republican state. Donald Trump is going to have an easy time winning here because, again, Ohio used to be a swing state. Now it's more reliably Republican. So we can see the super safe, the states that were more swingish a couple years ago, and the ones that leaned a little bit to the Republicans are becoming more and more Republican, and the states that have been trending more to the Democrats are becoming more and more Democrats. So moving on to and Maine at large, Maine second district, Donald Trump will carry it slightly. I think they're gonna carry it slightly just because Joe Biden, he's conservative and everything, but I don't think the ticket will be super conservative like they like it in that second district. Again, you have to consider it's a very conservative district. Now, going to our tilt states. Start with the Republicans. Wisconsin. Wisconsin is not going to be won by the Democrats. I think it's going to be super narrow. It's going to be like 1 or 2/10 of a percentage. So that's going to be a lot. That would be like a 0.1 margin. It's going to be very, very crazy. Possibly it could go down to a couple hundred votes. But I think at the end of the day, Wisconsin is one of those states that narrowly they chose governors. And yeah, and the senator that they chose was also incumbent, so that wasn't a big surprise. So Donald Trump has a big appeal in Wisconsin, and I think he'll keep it there. And out of the 3 Rust Belt states that flipped for Donald Trump, Wisconsin, I think, is the least likely to flip back to the Democrats, and for that reason, I'm putting it in the tilt margin for Donald Trump. 2 states left, the state of North Carolina and the state of Florida. In the state of Florida, I think Joe Biden will be the winner in the state of Florida because the Republicans in Florida, they have lost a lot of favors with Ron DeSantis and his management of the coronavirus. Donald Trump in Florida, it's been a very big people have been very tired of the Trump's handling and they don't like it, so of the COVID pandemic. So for this reason, it's gonna be likely again like the state of Wisconsin, maybe 0.2% for Joe Biden, in favor of Joe Biden. Now, the state of North Carolina, despite my last prediction, I think the state of North Carolina will go till Republican. Okay, they could have a lot of influence in this and that, but unfortunately for the Democrats, they have a kind of a big base. The Trump campaign has a big base in North Carolina, and the voting situations are going to be very different this year. It could mostly be by mail in. So for that reason, there's a lot of poverty areas in the state of North Carolina. And for those reasons, mail-in voting might be a little harder for them compared to a big part of the Republican base in that state, which are not in poverty. Because in those states that like North Carolina, the Democratic base, like the black vote, is usually what's a little bit more in poverty than probably like a lot of the Republican vote. So for those reasons, the state of North Carolina will go for Donald Trump narrowly. I think if Joe Biden can get out the black vote it's going to be sky high turnout. He's going to take the state and just pretty much demolish Donald Trump. So my final prediction for the 2020 presidential elections as of today, May 11th, Joe Biden wins 308 electoral votes compared to Donald Trump's 230 electoral votes. I want to thank all of you for watching, and I hope you subscribe to Purple Political Talk. Thank you.